Our third speaker in this session this afternoon is Daniel Kruithoff. Daniel's the CEO of Monsanto in Australia, and Monsanto have certainly had some interesting developments, particularly overseas, in this whole area, and I know he's got some elements of that he's interested in talking about today. So welcome, Daniel.
Well, thanks, Mick, and thanks for the opportunity to be here. I get the pleasure of coming after two what I think are really quite insightful presentations, and not wanting to rehash what has already been said, but I think that there are some key themes that you will see will run through my presentation, but also have been consistent with the others. This session, Future Developments in Digital Agriculture, comes at a time that the digital transformation that we've seen sweep across many sectors of the economy has fundamentally changed how we collaborate, how we connect, and how we share information. New technologies have also empowered us to make better, more informed and timely decisions. And this digital transformation is beginning to impact agriculture as much as any other sector in the economy. This is important as we know farmers are under increasing pressure to maximise productivity while more precisely managing their input costs to simply maintain a level of profitability, and we've heard this theme already today. Being price takers, as many of our farmers often are, the only thing that you really can influence is your own decision making. And we know that in any given season, for any given crop, farmers make many of these decisions that directly impact the outcome of their production. It's well documented and again discussed already today that productivity growth in many parts of Australian agriculture has flatlined. Finding new ways to improve our productivity performance is only going to get harder with existing technologies and tools that we have. Harnessing the power of information and data, however, is rapidly becoming the new frontier for farmers and agribusiness alike to improve yield and efficiency. Now, I've sat in many farms' offices before and seen the data that's been collected on that farm. Sometimes it's quite inspiring to see the dedication that many farmers have today of keenly tracking what's actually happening on their farming operation in real time, collecting information on water, temperature and climate, soil, farming operations and the crops themselves. But data in itself is not particularly valuable unless you can transform it into better decision making, and that's been said already a couple of times today. It's why Monsanto and other organisations are now keenly focused on helping farmers to utilise the vast amounts of data they generate, combine this with information available in the macro environment and what we know from agricultural research, along with predictive modelling, to make better real-time decisions to boost productivity. With this strategy in mind, last year Monsanto made a substantial investment into digital ag through its nearly $1 billion acquisition of the Climate Corporation. So Monsanto is a relative newcomer to this space, but we do have a long history in agriculture and in delivering step change technology. So this acquisition is also in line with Monsanto's global vision, and that is to help farmers to produce more at the same time as conserving more of their inputs. And importantly, we're now well vested in this space. Climate Corp is a San Francisco-based company, although I do know that they do get out of San Francisco. It's founded by software engineers and data scientists from the likes of Google and other leading Silicon Valley companies. Since its formation in 2006, Climate Corp has been working with farmers to develop a proprietary technology platform that combines hyper-local weather monitoring, agronomic data modelling and high-resolution weather simulations. At inception, Climate Corp was established to provide a solution to the problems growers face in relation to weather events and crop insurance. However, the deeper need to quantify the agronomic impact of weather events on soil, yield and farming practices soon became evident. Climate Corp has now built a US agriculture data science platform delivering a complete suite of full season monitoring, analytics and risk management products. Now, Climate Corp remains, for all intents and purposes, its own company. It maintains its own brand, its own offices and management team and operational headquarters in Silicon Valley. In addition to providing additional resources though, Monsanto's ownership gives Climate Corp access to our extensive field trial data, particularly in crops like corn and soybean. And Monsanto, I guess, comes to the party here with millions of individual sets of data on trials and varieties that we've conducted over many decades in the US. Ultimately, what underpins Climate Corp's platform is data, and a lot of it. As I mentioned, though, data in and of itself holds little value. However, it is managed, how it's managed, determines what useful insights we can actually glean from it. Specifically, 3 dimensions underpin our Climate Corp platform: measurements, models, and execution. And I'll talk through each of these. So firstly, measurement. Climate Corp has made significant investments in gathering the most accurate soil, atmospheric, and field data. It measures multiple soil characteristics, looking for greater accuracy, and they track more than 3 million daily weather observations across the United States. In the field, Climate Corp uses tens of millions of field trial data points to understand how soil and weather characteristics impact the performance of crops. They also ask the questions: what did the farmer do? What happened during the season? What was the outcome? And the objective being to capture as much data as is possible. So second dimension is models. Data science is the combination of 3 different areas of expertise. Computer science, that's not my strength. Physical sciences like agronomy, crop science, and soil hydrology, and of course statistics. Climate Corp is experts in all these fields who work together to take this complex interactions in the fields to answer the question: what does this information tell me about how I can make better decisions for the future? I think the comments about collaboration and bringing those minds together is really at the heart of this. Agricultural data science is used to create unique predictive models that give meaningful insights to drive recommendations for farmers in the field. What's been demonstrated even in these early days is that data science can deliver measurable profit gains for farmers. The third dimension is execution. And Climate Corp ultimately offers an integrated platform in the US market, providing better hardware and digital tools that can execute recommendations in the field. Measurements and models can't help farmers if they're not accompanied by platforms that allow the insights that they generate to be easily implemented by farmers. The simple and easy to use apps that are neatly integrated across a farmer's multiple devices is one simple example of that. So what does it look like in practice? And perhaps just to indulge me for a minute, I want to talk a bit about the products that have just hit the market in the US, not because it's something that's about to hit the market here, but to give you an insight into what Climate Corp are actually doing and what's currently available in that market. So Climate Corp have just released 2 new products into the US market. One, Climate Basic, a free service for all US growers, and a paid service called Climate Pro, which has additional features. Now, getting a farm established onto these platforms is very simple. All the farmer really needs to do is go in and create an online account, and Climate Corp have already mapped out the 30 million fields across the US Corn Belt. They just have to go and find their own and link it to their account. Under Climate Basic, the free service, farmers get immediate access to localised weather reporting, including precipitation in each field. They also gain field workability estimates with current field level conditions and forecasts in the next day, the next few hours, the next weeks, to help growers better plan planting, tillage and other field operations. It also offers instant alerts to soil moisture, adverse weather events and crop growth stage, as well as logging of scouting observations and field notes that can be shared, and integrated reporting of all these features on a single platform. With Climate Pro, key recommendations offered to US farmers include what relative maturity and planting date will optimise yield, where, when and how much to side dress nitrogen, for example, how to scout and manage pest problems, where variable rate applications will be beneficial, and what harvest date optimises dry down costs, grain moisture and yield in crops like corn. As a specific example within there, Planting Advisor is a one function that's been built to allow farmers to see the best date to plant a specific variety in a specific field. Growers know that yield results in any field in any year are largely weather dependent. And the planting date that allows corn, for example, to avoid key weather stresses such as heat during pollination and drought during grain fill is the planting date that will lead to the highest yields. The planting advisor helps improve the odds of making high yields by providing statistical recommendations of the optimal planting date and relative maturity for each field based on the latest information about current and future weather conditions in that field. In addition to the projected yields associated with each day of the planting period, Planting Advisor allows farmers to understand why one planting date is expected to be more favourable than another. And that comes down to a day-by-day basis, showing the expected yield loss associated with each potential planting date due to frost, drought stress and heat stress. And since soil temperatures at planting can have significant impact on the end of season yield, farmers can also see the projected soil temperatures for each day in the potential planting period. Through real-life examples now, Climate Corp calculates around $25 an acre on average improvements in returns for corn through the use of the Planting Advisor alone, and with some farmers up to $60 an acre. Across the combined Climate Pro suite, Climate Corp are currently claiming estimates around $100 an acre benefit to corn farmers in the US. In 2014, Climate Pro also began offering in-season satellite imagery, which provides farmers with high 5 metre by 5 metre resolution of their fields and a detailed view of their crop's vegetative stage, with the aim of delivering these images approximately once a month for each field. With a satellite view of a field, a farmer can pinpoint subfield areas to scout or apply nitrogen, for example. By tracking images across the season, a farmer can be proactive in addressing issues to ensure they're raising the best crop possible. To give you a sense of the success of these services already, the free Climate Basics service has been well subscribed in the last 9 months and is currently being used across 50 million acres in the US. I think it's important at this point to briefly discuss considerations around data privacy, and which has been discussed already today. It's an important area. Now, Monsanto and Climate Corp takes farmer privacy very seriously, which is why our privacy policy provides a commitment to respect the fact that farmers own their own information, including the data generated from farming equipment that they use. If a farmer uses Climate Corp's platforms, they can discontinue using Climate Corp's services and remove their individual data from the systems. They're also able to share their data easily with whomever he or she chooses or move it between platforms. Furthermore, there's no transfer of data between Climate Corp and Monsanto. Climate Corp's activities are not restricted, influenced or limited by outcomes in Monsanto's seeds and biotechnology business. It's quite the contrary. There's a huge potential for this application of this technology, and Monsanto wants Climate Corp to reach beyond our current seed footprint. Protecting data is a critical consideration when we look at the future of digital agriculture, and it's an important part of the discussion. We think it's essential that we're open about how we collect, store and transmit grower data. So what does the future look like for us anyway? Well, Climate Corp's CEO David Freeberg said recently, in 10 years, no farmer is going to talk about data. The reason we're talking about it now is because there's a lot of data coming out of tools, but no one knows what to do with it. If we can make it seamless and integrated into a farming operation, then we shouldn't be talking about it. It'll become part of every farmer's operating experience. What does this mean for Australia, and what does this mean outside of the United States? Well, as Climate Corp and Monsanto build an international strategy for these platforms, the agronomic service offerings may look different in each region. Farming practices and environments differ from soil types to disease and insect pressures to water availability. Data infrastructures and government data sharing policies also differ by country, and critically, the data generated then differs. However, to give you a sense of the idea this technology's the technology's potential has, that Climate Corp sees in the long range, they expect to see 1 billion acres under these agronomic services globally. This is obviously huge potential. However, to do that, we have to undergo a process of understanding unique farmer needs and data availability within each region. After this has been established, a structure can be built that helps meet farmer needs by region. What we need to do here in Australia is determine the amount of historical data and infrastructure available to collect data sets that are meaningful enough to create predictive models that offer Australian farmers good value. And it's Monsanto's intention to do this in a very collaborative way. Although we're really in the early days of harnessing the true power and potential of digital farming, there's no doubt that it can help farmers produce more using less resources. Using data science, we develop an analytical understanding of a range of variables that potentially impact crop performance. When we overlay this on top of current operations, farmer data, we can fundamentally change a farmer's decision-making process. These insights, combined with seamless integration in the field, holds incredible value. Along with others, Monsanto's sizable investment in digital technology and data analytics demonstrates, I think, industry confidence in the value these platforms will provide farmers in the years ahead and make a real difference in improving their competitiveness and sustainability. Thank you.